Greetings at Cheating Story Lab. Share your location below. Today's narrative emerges from a father who felt he had lost everything until concealed recordings exposed a truth that reshaped his life drastically. There's nothing to prepare you for the instant your own child stares into your eyes and labels you as a monster. This wound penetrates deeper than any infidelity from a partner or friend, because this is the person you would sacrifice everything for, confessing to the world that it was you who harmed them. 3 years ago, my former spouse Monica and I underwent what I considered an amicable divorce. Despite our growing distances and differing desires, we both asserted that our 12-year-old daughter Lily held top priority. As I believed at the time, the custody arrangement commenced as a 50-50 split. Lily would reside with Monica during weekdays and with me during weekends, along with alternating holidays. For the initial few months, everything seemed ordinary. I assumed Lily was adapting well. Lily arrived at my apartment enthusiastic about our weekend plans, cooking together, watching movies. She appeared joyful, yet something subtly changed. Over time, Lily became quieter and more secluded upon visits. When I inquired about school or friends, her replies were brief, and she spent an increased amount of time in her room. I attributed it to typical preteen behavior and the pressure from her parents' divorce, but a concerning remark was made. On a Saturday morning, while having breakfast, Lily mentioned, "Mom tells me that you probably don't truly want me here every weekend. You're only doing so because you have to." I was taken aback. I put down my coffee and looked at her. "Lily, dear, time spent with you is the best part of my entire week. Why would Mom say something like that?" She shrugged nonchalantly and returned to her cereal. Later, I learned she discussed this with Aunt Kelly. Warning signs began flashing in my mind, but I attempted to remain composed. I contacted Monica that evening. Monica informed Lily that you don't wish for her during weekends, sounding quite chilled. She mentioned your apparent strain regarding the arrangements, suggesting a reevaluation of the custody schedule if it's proving challenging for you. Despite enjoying her company, she emphasized that you shouldn't instill false ideas about her not wanting to be her father. She clarified that she wasn't planting anything, merely expressing her observations. This should have been my first hint about the actual situation, yet I persisted in believing Monica acted for Lily's best interests. Over the ensuing weeks, Lily's comments worsened. She began uttering phrases like, "You seem angry frequently, and Mom claims divorce can make people nasty sometimes." None of this was accurate. I made conscious efforts to remain optimistic and patient during our interactions. Then came the suggestion for therapy. One evening, Monica called, her voice feigning concern. "It seems to me that Lily might benefit from consulting with a professional regarding the divorce, as she's exhibiting some unusual behavior at home, and I believe this could aid her in coping better." I wholeheartedly concurred when the suggestion was made. If Lily was facing challenges, I wanted her to have backup. We managed to find Dr. Patricia Reeves, a family therapist specializing in children of divorce. I felt reassured that we'd found a viable solution. The initial therapy sessions appeared promising. Dr. Reeves would meet with Lily individually before discussing matters with both Monica and me separately. She informed me that Lily was experiencing typical adjustment problems, but nothing alarming. We collaborated to address these issues, but after approximately 6 weeks of therapy, there was a significant shift. On a Wednesday evening, Monica called, her voice trembling. "Brandon, we need to talk urgently. Dr. Reeves phoned me today. Lily has been making some incredibly disturbing statements about you during sessions." My heart sank. Monica reported instances where you've shouted at her and made her feel insecure. She expressed fear to Dr. Reeves, saying, "I couldn't breathe when I'm alone with you." However, you refuted these claims, asserting that you never yelled at Lily or made her feel unsafe. This leaves Monica uncertain, as she now wonders the truthfulness of these statements considering they were shared with a therapist by your daughter. Within 48 hours, Monica filed an emergency motion to restrict your custody rights. The court granted a temporary order, basing it on the preliminary report from the therapist, pending a comprehensive investigation. This resulted in my life being cut off from my daughter for 2 months, a period I refer to as the darkest of my existence. I was only allowed supervised visitation, twice weekly for 2 hours each time, under the watchful eye of a court-appointed supervisor. During these visits, Lily barely spoke and seemed anxious and detached whenever she did speak. My attorney Robert Chen worked diligently despite the mounting evidence against me. Dr. Reeves had chronicled numerous therapy sessions where Lily disclosed instances of emotional abuse and intimidation. The therapist was confident in Lily's truthfulness. During one consultation, Robert outlined my predicament. The challenge lies in the lack of physical proof either way. Your word is opposed to what Lily tells the therapist, and courts typically favor children in these cases. I felt utterly powerless. How does one prove innocence? How can one combat allegations from their own child? Then I had an idea that altered everything. I recalled that Monica had been preserving Lily's phone calls with her friends for safety purposes, a detail she shared with me several months prior when concerned about cyberbullying. She utilized an app that stored the recordings in cloud storage. During one of my monitored visits, I subtly asked Lily about her phone. "Child, Mom, are you still utilizing that recording application for online safety?" Lily gave a distracted nod. "Well, yes, but it records everything now, even our private conversations." This revelation made my pulse quicken. If Monica had instructed Lily on what to say during therapy, and if the app still captured their confidential discussions, there might be incriminating evidence. I contacted my attorney promptly following the visit. "Robert, I require you to submit a motion for discovery. It's possible that Monica's device contains recordings which could alter the entire case." After 3 weeks of legal maneuvering, the court ordered Monica to hand over all recordings from Lily's phone over the past 6 months. Monica's counsel resisted vigorously, fueling my suspicions. Upon receiving the recordings, Robert and I spent an entire weekend sorting through hundreds of hours of audio. The majority of it consisted of typical conversations between a 12-year-old and friends, schoolwork, watching videos, as expected. We discovered the coaching sessions. The earliest recording dated back 2 weeks prior to Lily's first troubling therapy session. Monica's voice was distinctly audible. "Lily, dear, I want you to carefully consider your time with Dad. Has he ever raised his voice at you?" "Not really, Mom." "Well, sometimes adults can appear frightening even when they aren't shouting. Has Dad ever appeared angry or frustrated in your presence? Perhaps during math homework sessions." "That's exactly what I mean." When Dr. Reeves asks about feeling safe with Dad, one should disclose incidents like that. Honesty about your feelings towards his behavior is crucial. My hands trembled as I listened. Monica was instructing our daughter to misconstrue ordinary parental situations as menacing behaviors. However, it only got more alarming, significantly more so, in another recording a week later. "Remember what we discussed, Lily, with Dr. Reeves? You should tell her about instances like that." These words revealed Monica guiding their daughter to share incidents in therapy that could be interpreted as indicative of abusive behavior, despite them being normal parent-child interactions. It's not untruthful that you sometimes feel fear when spending time alone with Dad. However, it's crucial for her to comprehend the true nature of your feelings. "But Mom, I don't genuinely experience fear around him." "Sweetheart, our emotions can be intricate. You might not consciously recognize feelings of apprehension because of your affection for Dad and a desire to protect his feelings. Yet it's permissible to discuss instances with Dr. Reeves where Dad appeared angry or you felt uneasy, such as when he got upset about my untidy room. Indeed, those instances are the kind of details Dr. Reeves needs to understand. In essence, Monica has been systematically shaping our daughter's perception to interpret ordinary parenting moments as signs of abuse. She's been constructing a deceptive narrative and persuading Lily that it's reality. The most detrimental recording was from the eve before a therapy session. "Now, remember, Lily, if Dr. Reeves asks if you feel secure with Dad, what will you say?" At times, I get fearful when he becomes upset. Here are a few instances when he discussed homework with intensity and seemed irritated about the disarray in our apartment and had an unpleasant demeanor one morning. "You're being truthful about your emotions, my dear," he said, "and that's crucial for your safety." Robert and I exchanged glances across his desk. "This is it," he whispered softly. "This alters everything. We filed an emergency motion to introduce new evidence." The hearing was set for the next Friday. Monica was unaware of what was looming. The courtroom was filled that day. Monica sat with her lawyer, appearing self-assured. She'd been prevailing in this battle for months and saw no reason for anything to change. Judge Harrison called the session into session. "Mr. Chen, do you indeed have new evidence to present?" he asked. Lawyer for Monica objected swiftly. "Proof to show the accusations against my client are falsified via systematic instruction of the child." Judge Harrison, disapproving, said, "These recordings were court-ordered for discovery, counselor." The defense had provided them as required. Robert played the first recording, where Monica coached Lily on depicting me as threatening. Silence filled the courtroom as Monica's voice echoed in the space. By the third recording, Judge Harrison was visibly enraged, and Dr. Reeves, a witness, looked shocked, realizing she had been deceived. Upon the recording's ending, Judge Harrison confronted Monica directly. "Ma'am, do you comprehend your actions here? You manipulated your own child to falsely accuse her father. When you've weaponized therapy, squandered this court's time and assets, and most crucially, inflicted deep emotional harm on your daughter." Your lawyer halted Monica from speaking as it was past the point of explanations. The judge then stated additional points. "You might have fractured this child's bond with her father through false accusations, a severe instance of parental alienation observed in 2 decades on this bench." Ruling was quick. My custody was reinstated instantly, while Monica's was suspended until a psychological evaluation. Dr. Reeves was mandated to revise the report, acknowledging the coaching that transpired. However, the significant moment occurred later that day. When I retrieved Lily for our initial unsupervised visit in months, she wept in my car saying, "Dad, I'm so sorry. Mom made me believe I was protecting myself, but I never intended to cause you harm. I was so perplexed." 2. By weaponizing therapy and misusing the court's resources, you have caused emotional damage beyond repair to your daughter, wasted time, and perhaps irrevocably severed her relationship with her father through false claims. Monica tried speaking but was stopped by her lawyer as it was too late for explanations. The judge added, "I've dealt with serious parental alienation cases for 20 years on this bench, but yours is among the most egregious." The court ruled swiftly. My custody was granted immediately. Monica's was suspended pending psychological examination. Dr. Reeves was ordered to amend his report, including acknowledgement of coaching that had taken place. A poignant moment came later that day. When I collected Lily for our first unsupervised meeting in months, she broke down and cried in the car, saying, "Dad, I'm so sorry. Mom made me think I was safeguarding myself, but I never wanted to hurt you." 3. In utilizing therapy as a weapon, abusing court resources, and causing deep emotional harm to your daughter, you have potentially destroyed her relationship with her father through false allegations, squandered time, and inflicted severe emotional damage. Monica attempted to speak but was silenced by her lawyer. It was too late for explanations. The judge added, "I've seen some terrible cases of parental alienation in my 20 years on this bench, but yours is among the worst." The court acted quickly. My custody was granted instantly. Monica's was suspended until a psychological evaluation. Dr. Reeves was instructed to revise his report and include details about coaching that had occurred. A crucial moment happened later that day. Lily broke down in tears when I retrieved her for our first unsupervised visit in months, saying, "Dad, I'm sorry. Mom led me to believe I was protecting myself, but I never meant to cause you pain." 4. By weaponizing therapy and abusing the court's resources, you caused deep emotional harm to your daughter, potentially destroyed her relationship with her father through false allegations, wasted time, and inflicted severe emotional damage. Monica tried speaking but was stopped by her lawyer. It was too late for explanations. The judge added, "I have seen many cases of parental alienation in my 20 years on this bench, but yours is among the most egregious." The court acted quickly. My custody was granted instantly. Monica's was suspended until a psychological evaluation. Dr. Reeves was ordered to amend his report and include information about coaching that had occurred. A key moment occurred later that day. Lily wept in the car when I collected her for our first unsupervised visit in months, saying, "Dad, I'm sorry. Mom convinced me that I was keeping myself safe, but I never intended to hurt you." 5. In weaponizing therapy and misusing court resources, you have deeply harmed your daughter, destroyed her relationship with her father through fabricated allegations, wasted time, and inflicted severe emotional damage. Monica attempted speaking but was stopped by her lawyer. It was too late for explanations. The judge added, "I've encountered many cases of parental alienation in my 20 years on this bench, but yours is among the worst." The court acted swiftly. My custody was granted instantly. Monica's was suspended until a psychological evaluation. Dr. Reeves was instructed to revise his report and include details about coaching that had occurred. An important moment happened later that day. When I retrieved Lily for our first unsupervised visit in months, she broke down and cried, saying, "Dad, I'm so sorry. Mom made me believe I was safeguarding myself, but I never wanted to hurt you." I cradled my child as she wept, experiencing a blend of triumph and sorrow. Our victory in court brought temporary relief, but the emotional wounds would take time to mend. "Lily, this was not your fault. You were merely following Mom's instructions. We will navigate this journey together, all right." 8 months have passed since the trial. Lily and I are rebuilding our bond under a new family therapist's guidance. She is learning to rely on her own judgments once more instead of Monica's distorted version of reality. Monica now has supervised visits and must attend counseling before any potential expansion of custody is discussed. The recordings did not just safeguard my bond with Lily. They uncovered a degree of manipulation that could have impaired Lily's ability to trust her intuition. The most challenging aspect was not the false accusations, nor the mounting legal expenses or the months of monitored visits. Enduring my daughter's anguish as she grappled with the realization that her own mother wielded her in a custody dispute was excruciating, but we're mending. Gradually, cautiously, yet we're healing. Occasionally, when Lily chuckles at one of my woeful dad jokes or requests help with homework, I recall why battling for the truth made each challenging instance worthwhile. Justice wasn't delivered by a sensational courtroom speech or ingenious legal maneuver. It emerged from perseverance, tenacity, and an overlooked technology that Monica never considered switching off. Sometimes the proof you require lies in plain sight, biding its time to expose the truth. If you find yourself grappling with false allegations or parental estrangement, document each instance, trust your intuition, and never abandon the pursuit of your bond with your children. The truth often resurfaces when least anticipated. Acknowledgements, Cheating Story Lab. Click the subscribe button if you're interested in listening to additional tales of betrayal, retribution, and righteousness. Share your experiences in the comments about instances where you had to defend a relationship from being torn apart by others.